Hello everybody and welcome to another Blood High Gaming. Yep, that works. Okay, hold on. Sorry. As some of you probably know, this isn't one of my, scheduled broadcasts. Okay. Whoops. Wrong thing. There we go. Okay, so, because today is not very, scheduled. Hola. Bien. ¿Cómo está? Okay, so today, since we're not, this isn't really our normally scheduled time, as you guys probably know. Sorry. I kind of wanted to leave it up to you guys as to what we do. I have kind of a, I kind of have different circumstances today than I usually would. In fact, kind of a first for me. And so I was kind of thinking that maybe we could use that to our advantage. So here's the thing. Basically, I want to wait until we get a couple more people. I want to wait until we have, there we go, we have one more person. Let's see if we can get, basically, I want you guys to decide, because, okay, so I reinstalled Medium, because for some reason it crashed, and it had all sorts of problems, so we can either finish Medium, or option 2, we can kind of watch some videos, some scary videos again. So, me. Hopefully Harley and maybe Sherry will show up. I know this isn't my normal, usual time. And I don't think I have Twitter yet. So basically here's the deal. Normally when I do these things, yes, it is nighttime. But usually somebody's around, somebody's home. today I have some time by myself, which is rare. And I thought, dang it. Okay. I thought that we could use it to, I don't know, do kind of a scary theme today, but I can't decide as to whether we should do medium or whether we should do medium or whether we should do scary videos. If I don't get an answer in like the next, say 2 minutes, then, or 2 or 3 minutes, then I'm just gonna decide and go with whatever. Cause I mean, I'm limited on time here. Basically, I could do tonight, but I was kind of thinking I'm not feeling the greatest, and I'm kind of wanting to go to bed early, spend time with my family, stuff like that. So I thought that I would stream now while I'm alone and have time. I thought that you guys might want to. I have no idea if this is the right account or not. Okay. So, okay, we have one vote for scary videos, and so far that's the only vote that we have. Options are medium or scary videos. I'll give it at least another minute. Okay. I think we pretty much have our answer. So, we can do scary videos again. Sounds like fun. Okay. I'm trying to remember how I did this last time. Fuck. Here it is. Woo. Knocking things off the wall. Trying to get more atmosphere in here. Okay. Let's do scary TikTok videos. Let's see like how far the rabbit hole we can get. Wait, no, that's somebody else's reaction video.
This is why you should always make sure you're home alone. One day, 2 police officers are sitting in their car waiting for their next call. They pull over a couple cars, but nothing unusual. A couple hours later, they get a call saying a woman feels like there is somebody in her house and she is hiding. The police, thinking it's some sort of home invasion, begin to rush to the scene. They pull up to the house and notice all of their lights are off and the doors are closed. The police begin to try and open the door, but the door is locked. They decided it'd be quicker if they just bust a window and enter the scene. They busted the window and begin searching. One officer says, "I'll search the left of the house and you search the right," and they both agree. The officer on the right finds a bathroom door that is cracked, and as he's opening it, he hears scratching and a faint whispering in the bedroom. He stops what he's doing and opens the door to the room. He pulls out his weapon and aims it at the closet and said, "Whoever's in there, come out now." He opens the door and finds nothing. At the same time, the officer to the left says, "I found her, the house is clear."
Oh, fuck that shit.
Yo, it's 2020. How do we still not know who this is? Jack the Ripper haunted the Whitechapel district of London from 1888 to 91, killing up to 11 women.
I'm pretty sure that we actually do know who Jack the Ripper was now. I'm pretty sure that there's been like genetic, like DNA testing and stuff, because there still was DNA back then, obviously, but the problem was that we didn't have stuff to do it. So, I'm pretty sure, I want to double check this, but I'm pretty sure that we actually know who Jack the Ripper was. Not to mention, Jack the Ripper actually came to America. And I think that's how they were able to, I'm pretty sure that, like, that's how they ended up, researchers, they say they finally unmasked Jack the Ripper. Yeah. I think that they were able to tie it back to, like, he was in England, somebody who was in England and also in America at the right time period, and matched evidence that they had. Because, I mean, you can go back. Speaking of which, that last one got me just a little bit. I'm gonna go, like, lock my bedroom door. Fuck that shit. Just double checking. Okay. So yeah, technically we do actually know who Jack the Ripper was. Let me see if I can actually pull up his real name. Jack the Ripper's real name. I'm sorry, I'm going off on a whole tangent here. But hey, fun fact. I watched was it History Channel? Some sort of video. Aaron Kosminski. Aaron Kosminski. Until today, it was an obscure name of a Polish immigrant in Britain who died in an asylum of gangrene leg. That is Jack the Ripper's actual name. There you go. You learned something today. I watched a History Channel special years ago, and they were talking about how Jack the Ripper actually came to America and how they could narrow it down to like 3 people.
And terrorizing the community. He mailed letters and sometimes body parts to the local newspaper, once stating, "Here's a liver, I fried and ate the other one." Because his victims were disfigured and often missing
with some fava beans and a nice Chianti, of course.
Organs from their body, it was clear that the killer was highly skilled in human anatomy. Despite developments in crime technology, he evaded police and was never identified.
True story.
Here's a terrifying true ghost story. 2 sisters were staying at a very old historic hotel in the middle of nowhere in Montana. The hotel had been around since the 1800s. It was one of the sisters' favorite hotels, and they've been multiple times. However, the other sister couldn't sleep because all she heard was someone walking around upstairs on hardwood floors, pacing around the room. In the morning, I asked my sister how she could have slept through it, and she told me that above, it used to be a ballroom where people used to dance, but now it was carpeted and empty. There was no hardwood floors. I asked the hotel staff, and then that's when they confirmed that there was nobody up there, and if there was, I wouldn't have heard high heels on hardwood floors.
Nope.
This is why you should be careful what you put in the mail. In 2015, a man was asked by his neighbor to collect his mail while he was gone for a few weeks. A few days later, a large package arrives on his neighbor's front porch. The man can barely lift it, but gets over to his garage where he accidentally drops it and hears something break inside. Hoping his neighbor would think the damage occurred en route, he closes his squeaky garage door and forgets about it. But over the next couple of days, whatever was in that package started to smell so bad that he decides to open it up. Inside were two very important finds: his neighbor, who was dead, and a camera that was still recording. The police bring the man in for questioning and show him what was on the camera inside the box. It starts with his neighbor talking to the camera about how excited he is to mail himself home for his YouTube channel. Then, police fast forward to the very end where they see that the neighbor is now sleeping in the box, and then suddenly gets dropped and you hear a crack, and that's his neck breaking. And then you hear a squeaky garage door close.
Dude, he made it all the way home.
Urban legends to haunt you, the kidney heist. A man decided to go out one night on a date. He hadn't been out in a long time and he was really excited to meet this beautiful girl that he had met online. Nothing seemed out of the ordinary and he even paid.
Hey, Jen. I was hoping you would join. Yeah, I tried messaging you, but I didn't know if that was the right account. I didn't know. I was just like, I hope she makes it. So I gave the option to do the medium or scary videos, and I'm pretty sure we voted for scary videos. So scary videos it is. So far, we've revealed the actual name of Jack the Ripper, and scared the fuck out of me. So I got some time alone to myself. Rarely ever happens. And so I thought that I would go ahead and stream now instead of later. And I thought that it might be fun to scare the absolute shit out of myself through scary videos, of course. Safe scare. Safe scare. So.
Paid for a dinner. He thought it was going great. However, the next day he thought maybe he just had too much to drink and he woke up in a bathtub. But then he was looking around and noticed that he was surrounded by ice. As he starts waking up and coming to his senses, he begins freaking out. He notices one of his kidneys are gone.
Dun, dun, dun. We've all heard that one.
If you see this in Chuck E. Cheese, you need to leave immediately. So many of the workers at Chuck E. Cheese were reporting that these animatronics are coming alive by itself. Now never go to Chuck E.
Five Nights at Freddy's. I knew that Freddy looked familiar.
Cheese during the late night. If you don't see these animatronics on this stage and they're off, please run for your life. Many of the workers say that these robots come alive at night and have been taking children from their parents.
Dude, I didn't even get to go to a Chuck E. Cheese until I was like 12, I think. Like I was much older. We never had a Chuck E. Cheese, and around here we definitely don't have a Chuck E. Cheese. You have to drive like 2 hours to get to the nearest Chuck E. Cheese. I don't get what the appeal is. At my old town we had, I can't remember what it was called. It was kind of like a Chuck E. Cheese, but it wasn't a Chuck E. Cheese. I just remember they had this game where you squish spiders, and it was my favorite.
These TikTokers accidentally found a body. There's a popular app right now on TikTok called Randonautica that sends you to random locations in your area. Some people find random abandoned places. Some people even found random weird things in the forest. These group of teens were led to a suitcase. But the thing is, when they opened the suitcase, it was a dead body inside.
Wait, open it. It stinks, y'all.
When they opened the suitcase with a stick, it had a horrible stench, later calling the cops, who confirmed there was dead body parts inside.
This is why you should always trust your gut. In the early 1970s, a college student decided to hitchhike his way home after class. A car pulls up, a man offers him a ride, and he climbs in. As soon as the car started moving, the student felt totally uneasy, like something was wrong but he couldn't quite place it. Without saying anything, he waited till the next time they slowed down and he flung the door open and ran away. 2 years later, he's flicking through TV channels when he comes across this special interview with a death row inmate. And it's just the audio recording, so he hears the interviewer ask the inmate, "Why did you remove all the door handles inside of your car?" The man just goes, "Well, the first time I tried to kill someone, I picked up a college hitchhiker who got smart at some point and jumped out of my car. So, lesson learned, remove all the door handles." When they showed his picture, the student knew immediately that he was supposed to be the first victim of John Wayne Gacy, aka the Killer Clown, who had killed over 30 men and boys in his clown room and stuffed them into his basement.
If someone calls out your name at night, you might not want to answer after watching this. As a kid, I was told stories about the legend of the night caller, and it was believed that if someone calls out your name in the middle of the night and you respond, a demon would appear out of nowhere.
What? You said you commented on one of my posts. Instagram, Twitter. What are we talking about here? Willy's Wonderland. Okay, we'll watch it after this.
And take you away. According to lore, a young girl stayed up late in her room when she heard her mom call out to her. The voice was so faint that she stopped what she was doing to listen closely. And again, she heard her mom's voice calling out to her. She responded, and almost immediately, her door, which was already closed, slowly opened, and someone was standing at the foot of the door. It was dark, and she couldn't make out the features of this person, but it had the form of her mom. The shadow figure then asked the girl to follow her. Thinking it was her mom, she got up and followed. The next day, a search began, but the little girl was never found. Coincidentally, most of the kids in the neighborhood claimed that they heard a voice call out to them that same night, but they were too scared to answer. And that is why...
Sure. Fuck that picture behind him. Nope. Nope.
These are the strangest things that have ever been caught on camera. This video shows what appears to be a dark humanoid type creature crawling towards a bunch of boys playing soccer. Once the kids see it, they immediately run away in terror. Nobody knows for sure what this animal was, but many people claim that it was the South American mythical beast known as the Pombero. This next video was taken at the funeral of a 7-year-old girl. It shows one of the balloons that was next to her coffin somehow floating directly to her crying mother in the audience. Many people believe that this was the girl trying to comfort her mother from the grave.
The picture behind me might look like a normal photo, but it's actually one of the most sinister, real-life haunted photos in history. Taken by a professional photographer in 1972 as guests arrived for a wedding, everything in this picture looks happy and normal. But if you take a closer look at the man standing in black, you'll see something odd. You can actually see somebody in white crouching behind the man. All 4 of the people in the picture said that there was no one behind them when it was taken. The photographer said the same thing, and that it would be impossible for someone to crouch behind them without him seeing them. This is a better picture where you can actually see the guy's legs, and then in the top you can see his eyes. The picture was even examined by police photographers, and they confirmed that it was genuine.
I don't see his eyes, but I do see his leg. Okay, so let's see. On Twitter. Okay. Willy's Wonderland. It's a trailer, you said? Oh my gosh, it has Nicolas Cage. Please tell me this is real.
This is the checkers game where grandson and granddad will bond.
Welcome to Willy's Wonderland. Spend the night cleaning Willy's Wonderland, and I will pay to have your car fixed. Deal? You are officially on staff. Let's get the hell out of here. I can't stand to hear a grown man scream.
This place has a dark history. I know the bullshit story they told you. It's a lie. You're here to be a human sacrifice. Have you been listening to a word I've been saying? He's gonna die in here, but he won't listen to me.
Oh my god, it's real.
The machines got out. Nobody is safe. balls on, Evan. We're going to Willie's.
He's not trapped in here with them. They're trapped in here with him. It's your birthday, and we want you to have fun. It's your birthday, so let's party. It's birthday time.
I enjoy a man of few words.
Dude. I feel like I need to see this. I feel like this is something that I need to see. You might have just given me movie night tonight. I love this comment. He's not trapped in here with them. They're trapped in here with him. Almost as if they were caged. Oh, I love that. That's genius. Okay. So, why do I keep doing that? Okay, so what I'm going to do today is we're going to play a random one, and then we're going to find a scary video off of that video, and then so on and so forth. And I want to see how far down the rabbit hole we can get. I used to do this for fun in high school, and you'd be surprised at some of the things that I found. Like, oh my god. So, this one has...
If you can make it through this entire video, I guarantee you won't be able to sleep tonight. A man was working late at night when he received a notification
Joke's on you, dude. I don't sleep at night anyway.
that there was detected movement on his son's baby monitor. He checked the app, expecting to see that his 3-year-old son had just coughed or sneezed loudly. But when he looked at the baby cam, he was shocked to see his son and wife acting very strange. They were sitting on the bed together, both glaring at the camera with blank, emotionless stares. He assumed that the camera was just frozen, but noticed that his wife and son were blinking every couple of seconds. He then called his wife to make sure everything was okay, and she told him that she was in bed with her son and he had gotten scared a couple of minutes ago and came into her room crying. The husband was stunned. He slowly told his wife that they were both in their son's room, looking into the baby monitor. Just as the wife was about to respond, there was a loud screech and the call ended. The man then went to check the baby monitor, and it was complete static.
This is why you should always be afraid of strangers. In 2014, a disturbing text message conversation between two classmates was uploaded to the internet. Annie and David are talking casually, and then Annie hears footsteps outside and goes to look. She sees someone standing in her yard, and she assumes it's just Dave playing a joke on her, but it's not. Suddenly, the stranger starts sprinting towards her house. He smashes through a window, and now he's in her house. She freaks out, jumps in a closet, and tells Dave to call the police. She tells Dave that he's yelling for her to come out, and then Annie stops texting. When Annie finally writes back that everything's just fine, Dave realizes something. He wasn't talking to Annie anymore.
This is the scary story about the eye. There was a girl in class named Jillian who was having a very weird pain in her eye. She told her teacher about it, and she sent her to the nurse's office. The nurse told Jillian that she did not know what the problem was, so she sent Jillian back to class. When Jillian got home that day, she told her mom about the pain in her eye. Her mom couldn't see what the problem was, so she just gave Jillian pain medicine. Later that night, Jillian's mom heard Jillian screaming, and she then ran to her room. When she got there, Jillian was crying, and she then told her mom that the pain spread to her head now. Her mom then rushed her to the hospital, and when they got there, Jillian told the doctor about her eye pain and how it spread to her head. Oh, the doctor shined a flashlight in Jillian's eye, and to his horror, a black spider came crawling out of her eye with all her babies. The spiders were eating Jillian's eye and brain. Jillian then died a few minutes later from the spiders eating her brain.
This is why you should never talk to somebody that has black eyes. And it's crazy because the story you guys...
If you can find a worm in your eye, and look it up, this is a legit thing. There are worms that go into your, that are like in your eye. Trust me, if you can see a worm in your eye that is basically the same color as your eye, you can definitely see a black spider. That one was just funny. I'm sorry. Oh, that sounds cool, actually, Jen. No, yeah, there's, I can't remember, I like walked in, somebody was watching something, I walked in, and I caught the tail end, and I remember it like scarred me for life, because this guy was talking about this one time, he like goes into the bathroom, and his eye is killing him, right? And so he like pulls down like right here, and he can see this little bitty worm just like, you know, like wiggle across his eye, and he's like, holy crap. So he goes to the hospital, and he ends up having to take like parasites and stuff, or anti-parasitic or something, and like it was like this huge process, and I'm like, oh my god, worms can be in my eyes now. Like what? So trust me, if a guy can, you know, just like do like that and see, and it was pink and it was tiny, and I mean like it would blend right in, and if you can see that, trust me, you can see a black spider. Like that doesn't even scare me.
Are about to listen to is completely real. In the middle of nowhere in Vermont, an elderly couple heard 3 knocks on their door. They opened the door and saw a boy and a girl. The kids looked at the parents and said, "My parents will be here soon, can we come in?" Children didn't make eye contact. The elderly couple hesitated but said, "Of course you're able to come in." The kids sat on the couch, the wife made hot cocoa, and the husband was asking them questions. When the wife returned with the hot cocoa, she saw that her 3 cats were super angry at these children. The kids then look around the room and say, "May we use the restroom?" They say of course and redirect them over to the bathroom, and the husband grabs his wife's arm. He looked at his wife and said, "Did you see their eyes?" And as soon as he said that, he looked at his hand and saw his nose was bleeding. Then randomly the power went out and the kids walked out of the room and said, "My parents are here." Here's where things get creepy. 1 week later, 3 of the 4 cats went missing, and the 4th cat was found dead at the bottom of the pool. On top of all that, the husband was diagnosed with a very rare aggressive skin cancer. Make sure to like and follow.
I can guarantee that the end of this video is going to
I like the picture in the background. Rest in peace. That's beautiful. That's a beautiful painting, or I can't tell. But it's beautiful.
This video is going to shock you. There was a young girl who had trouble making friends because her mom wouldn't let her play with the other kids in the neighborhood. One day, the mom left to go to the store, so she snuck outside of the house. She grabbed her teddy bear and went outside, but still, none of the kids wanted to play with her. Eventually, a strange-looking boy approached her and said that he wanted to be her friend. The little girl was thrilled to finally have a friend her age, and he eventually asked if she wanted to come to his house to play. When they arrived, the little girl was confused, because the house appeared to be abandoned like no one had been in there for years. They walked into his garden, and immediately the girl threw up. She asked him for some water, and he just smiled at her creepily and said, "You're going to sleep here sometime soon." Weeks later, the girl went looking for him, and he was nowhere to be found. Soon, a paper airplane flew to her, and it was a newspaper clipping. She opened it up to find that the boy she'd been playing with went missing 9 years ago.
No one would believe this story if there wasn't a video. In 2013, a rogue wave capsized a tugboat, killing 11 of 12 men on board. The 12th man was flung into the hallway, which was already filled with water. Panicked, he starts swimming towards the exit, but accidentally goes into the engine room where he finds an air pocket. And there this poor man sat, listening to the sounds of these huge sharks fighting over the bodies of his friends just on the other side of the wall. Total darkness, no food or water, 100 feet below the surface. 3 days later, one of the divers that was sent down there to retrieve their bodies sees a hand.
On one, yeah? He's alive, he's alive.
Holy crap.
Okay.
Oh, that poor man.
All right.
Harrison O'Keen survived the ordeal and plans on writing a book.
Welcome back to Female Murderer TikTok. This one's about Nanny Doss. Buckle up. Nanny and her husband had 4 kids. 2 of them died back to back from poisonings. The husband was like, something ain't right, and then he took the kids and left. So Nanny gets remarried, kills him, buys a house and land with the insurance money, and is like, oh, I like this. She reunites with her daughter. Her daughter's like, hey, can you watch my baby for a little bit? And she's like, totally. And then the baby dies in like 3 days. And then it starts to get lethal. She marries her 3rd husband. He dies that year. Her mom breaks her hip and she's like, I'll take care of you. She's dead. Both of her sisters die in the same year in different towns, all while Nanny's visiting. She marries her 4th husband. He doesn't even make it a few months. Then she marries her 5th husband. He dies a month later. But finally, in that autopsy, they were like, there's a lot of rat poison in this guy. Did you do this? And then Nanny goes, yeah, I did that to all of them. So she gets life in prison, and before she dies, they interview her, and they're like, why did you do it? Was it for the money? And she goes, money? I was bored.
This is the scary game of Bloody Mary.
Oh my god. Money? I was bored. What the fuck? Oh my god.
According to the legend, you have to stand in front of your bathroom mirror and say Bloody Mary 3 times in a row. The story says this will summon her ghost. If you see her ghostly face in the mirror, you can have one of the following consequences. Your eyes could be ripped out and your face could be horribly scarred. You could be found dead with claw marks all over your face and body. You could disappear mysteriously from your bathroom and end up trapped in the mirror with the ghost for eternity.
Like this video if you played that game when you were a kid. And still survived. Somehow. Okay, okay, so it's mostly just TikToks. Should we go off of the first one? Yeah, let's just go off of, or we can go off of like the, yeah, we'll go off.
This is why you should never sleep in your car. 2 years ago, a man was driving
He says after I've slept in my car like a million times.
2 hours home after a family reunion, and it started to get dark outside. The road he was driving on was dense with trees and bushes, and it looked like something out of a horror movie. About an hour into his drive, the man got really tired, and he decided to pull.
Jen, not cool. Not cool. I'm not okay with that. Shadow figures? No. No. No, 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 no. 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 No.
Pull off the road into some bushes and sleep. About 30 minutes after the man fell asleep, he woke up to the sound of someone scratching his car window. He looked around for a bit, but the noise stopped. He then went back to bed. He again woke up an hour later to the same sound, and as he looked around, he caught a glimpse of something running away into the bushes. The man thought it would be a good idea to leave, so he started his car and drove around the near corner. As the man turned the corner, he saw another car parked in the bushes to the side of the road. And as the man slowed down to get a better look, he saw a man in his rearview mirror sprinting towards his car yelling curse words at him. He then stepped on the gas and drove away. Moral of the story, don't sleep in your car.
This is why you should always take your lockdown drills seriously. In 2017, 2 16-year-olds were in their school bathroom when the lights suddenly went out and their school went into lockdown. Feeling rebellious, they decide, you know what, let's go explore the school a little bit first, and then we'll go follow procedure. They step out of the bathroom and look down the hall towards their classroom, and they see this large figure standing in front of their classrooms. It's definitely not a student, it's not a teacher. He's got ragged clothes on, and he starts walking towards them. They dart right back into the bathroom to the corner stall where they hide, praying that that man didn't see them. The man bursts in and starts yanking open all the stalls. Not wanting to see what happens when he gets to their stall, they get on the ground and start crawling to the side of the room where they finally get up and make a run for the door. They look back and he's holding a gun. The boys manage to get away safely and no one's hurt, but the police never capture the ragged man.
Nope.
These are the most bone-chilling photos on the internet, part 3. This was just a normal picture of a wedding, until you look in the background, and you can see what appears to be a cult wearing hoods and robes. This is super disturbing, and I wonder what their intentions were for being at that wedding. Next is a photo of a man who was dressed as Santa, going door to door surprising kids. But they had no idea that this man would later kidnap them, and most likely killed them, because these 2 girls were never found. And the Santa Claus costume that the man is wearing is also very chilling. Finally is this photo. This photo looks photoshopped, but it's not. This couple has on what appears to be some sort of animal mask, posing for a picture. This photo just gives me chills looking at it, and there is just something about it that makes it very disturbing.
I think those are cool.
This Aztec whistle is one of the scariest sounds you will ever hear. When odd skull-shaped grave items were found by archaeologists decades ago in an Aztec temple in Mexico, they were thought to be ornaments or toys and were cataloged and stored in warehouses. But years later, experts discovered that they were actually creepy death whistles that the Aztecs used in ceremonies, sacrifices, and in battle to strike fear within their enemies.
And when these whistles were finally blown, they made piercing noises resembling the sound of a human howling in pain. This true story is so simple and so creepy. On June 21st, 2009, a 16-year-old wakes up to an empty house around 11 a.m. He heads downstairs, grabs a snack, and goes to the basement and plans on watching TV for the next few hours until he meets his friend around 3. About 30 minutes later, his mom comes downstairs and asks him, "Where have you been all day?" Confused, he says, "I've only been up for like 30 minutes. And then he looks at his phone, and it's after 7 o'clock at night. There's dozens of missed calls and several text messages from his friend and his mom asking, "Where are you?" He tells his mom that none of this makes any sense, but what she tells him is even worse. She said that she was there all day and saw him go into the basement at 11, but after that, he was gone all day. So for one day in the summer of 2009, this kid didn't exist.
Glitch in the Matrix? Slipped into a multiverse? Or an alternate universe? Or... Yeah, that is actually what the whistle sounds like. You know, Jen, you're gonna sit here and be like shadow figures and everything else, and then something's actually going to happen, and I'm just gonna be like, nice try. Of course, I will admit, even if there was something, unless it like makes itself like seriously scary, like I might get a little creeped out, but I might not be too scared, because honestly, like there's how do I put this? I think I would know who it is or who it would be. So
this is the scary story about the new carpet. There was a woman named Cindy who had to buy a new carpet. She was searching the internet all day for one.
That in of itself is terrifying. You ever tried shopping for carpet? It's a nightmare.
Until she found the perfect one on Facebook Marketplace. She then contacted the seller, and he agreed to sell it to her. Cindy then got the address and drove to the seller's house.
Why are you buying carpet on Facebook? Like what? Home Depot? Lowe's? Facebook? What?
When Cindy got there, the person was already waiting outside for her with the carpet rolled up. She then helped them carry the carpet to her car. Cindy noticed that the carpet was
rug, not carpet. Different. No, I know. I know that's what it actually sounds like. I've heard. I mean, I haven't gotten to actually see one in real life, but I've heard them before.
Heavier than most carpets, but she just ignored it. She then paid the man and drove home. When Cindy got home, she had a very hard time bringing the carpet into her house because it was so heavy. When she finally got it into her house, she unrolled it, and what she saw made her scream. It was a dead girl's body rolled up in the carpet. Cindy then called the police and told them everything. They then went to the person's house who sold it to her and arrested him. It turned out he murdered his own daughter and rolled her body in the carpet.
And sold it.
Scary true stories that will keep you up at night. After a little girl and her mother moved into an apartment complex, they were very excited to live in their own space and explore the neighborhood around them. That is until one day when the girl's mother noticed something strange. She found her daughter standing in front of an old closet holding out a french fry as if she was feeding it to somebody. The girl's mom thought nothing of it, as it's extremely common for young children to have imaginary friends. Later that same day, when the two sat down for dinner, the girl said something strange. She said that the girl upstairs is always so hungry and constantly asks her for french fries. Confused, the girl's mother asked her where the girl was, and her daughter told her that she was inside of the closet. The mother again brushed it off, telling herself that she was just playing some sort of silly game. But later that night, when the mother was searching about the home online, she discovered something pretty scary. She discovered a 20-year-old article on the apartment. A couple who lived in that very same complex was arrested for starving their child to death. And apparently, she died in the closet, and her favorite food was french fries.
Here's why you should never turn your Snapchat.
that didn't scare me. That just broke my heart. That poor thing. Baby girl, you can have all the french fries you want. McDonald's, Wendy's, what do you want? I'll go pick up some french fries right now.
At location on. One night, a girl was home alone sitting in her bedroom watching TV when she got a notification on her phone. She opened her Snapchat to find a photo of Max, a strange lonely boy at school who had asked for her Snapchat a few days before. In the Snapchat, Max was grinning very creepily. The text read, "Are you alone?" She was about to block him when she received another chat from Max that said, "You live on Moorhead Lane, right?" As soon as she opened it, she heard a tapping on her window. It was Max. He was staring directly at her with a disturbing grin on his face. She screamed before shutting the blinds and calling the police. But when they arrived, they said there was no one on the property and he must have ran away. The girl was haunted by Max, but eventually she went to sleep. She woke up the next morning to find that she had received another Snapchat from Max. It was of her in her bed sleeping, taken 3 hours ago.
Nope. I'm so paranoid with social media. So freaking paranoid with social media.
Disturbing things that you should never look up on Google. 16-year-old Daniel Petrie and 12-year-old Gabriel Kuhn were two friends from Brazil who were both fans of an online role-playing game called Tibia. But on July 23, 2007, after Gabriel borrowed some in-game money from Daniel but was unable to pay it back, Daniel became absolutely furious. He stormed into Gabriel's room and proceeded to attack and rape him. After that, he strangled Gabriel with a wire until he fainted and went on to cut off his legs with a hacksaw. Gabriel regained consciousness and screamed in pain, but Daniel just kept cutting. The autopsy revealed that Gabriel was alive while his legs were being cut off, but soon died after due to blood loss and pain. Daniel was later sent off to a juvenile offender and served just 3 years in prison.
This is why you should always be scared of clowns. In 2004, a babysitter had just sat down to watch TV before the parents got back when she noticed something. In the corner of the room was a large clown statue that, no matter how she positioned herself, seemed like it was staring right at her. As she's looking at it, the father calls to check in on the kids. She tells him everything is fine, and right before they're about to hang up, she says, "Why do you have a huge clown statue in your TV room?" There was silence on the phone, and then the father just says, "We don't own a clown statue." She immediately drops the phone, runs upstairs, gets the kids, runs outside, calls the cops. Cops go in and come out with this guy. As the police are taking the clown away, one of the
They didn't actually come out with that guy. That's an urban legend. The clown statue, that's an urban legend. This guy is actually a real clown. He does scare people for a living. But, no.
officers comes over to the girl and with a very grim look on his face just says, "We found him underneath one of the kids' beds. He was holding a sharpened screwdriver."
See, that guy in the pictures, not actually him. That guy in the pictures is a real clown. If I remember correctly, I think I actually have him on my Instagram. Yes, I'm weird. We all know this. I think it's like Giggles the Clown or something. No. Wrong one. I know way too many clowns. I actually had a Wrinkles, that's what his name is. There's actually a Hulu special on him. Yep. don't know if you guys can see, but yeah, wrinkles. He scares people for hire, for money. Pretty cool.
This is why you should never sleep in your car. 2 years ago, a man was driving 2 hours home after a family reunion, and it started to get dark outside. The road he was driving on was dense with trees and bushes, and it looked like something out of a horror movie. About an hour into his drive, the man got really tired, and he decided to pull off the road into some bushes and sleep. About 30 minutes after the man fell asleep, he woke up to the sound of someone scratching his car window. He looked around for a bit, but the noise stopped. He then went back to bed. He again woke up an hour later to the same sound, and as he looked around, he caught a glimpse of something running away into the bushes. The man thought it would be a good idea to leave, so he started his car and drove around the near corner. As the man turned the corner, he saw another car parked in the bushes to the side of the road. And as the man slowed down to get a better look, he saw a man in his rearview mirror sprinting towards his car yelling curse words at him. He then stepped on the gas and drove away. Moral of the story, don't sleep in your car.
This is why you should always lock your door while you're driving. A man just got off work and was
That's just a good tip in general. People come up to you and like open your car door and drag you out. It's just a good idea in general to keep your doors locked, even when you're driving.
driving home. It was about 2 a.m. and he came across a red light. It was one of those red lights that sit for way too long. The man contemplated on running the red light, but he wanted to be a good Samaritan, so he said, I'll just wait it out. And this is where the story takes a very dark turn. So a woman sitting at a bus stop sees the man's car stopped at the red light, so she walks over to his window. The man then gets very worried as the woman approaches his window, and she looks at him and she knocks on the glass. The woman then signals him to roll down the window just like that. The man then rolls down his window just enough to have a small conversation. The woman looks at him and says, I've been beat by my husband, can you help me? The man looks at the woman and notices that there's no bumps or bruises, so he's kind of eerie about this. The woman says again, I've been beat by my husband, can you help me? The man just starts staring at this woman in shock. The woman then says the same exact thing over and over again. So as this woman keeps asking over and over again, the light suddenly turns green. The man looks at the woman and says, I can't help you. The woman smiled and said, you just saved your life.
Send this video to someone that is absolutely terrified of clowns. A young boy named Nathan was walking alone to meet up with some friends at a nearby carnival. When he arrived, they rode roller coasters and eventually made their way to a circus tent with live performers. They went inside and saw a group of clowns performing. They were dancing, juggling, and one of them was riding a unicycle. The boys got closer to the stage, and the one riding the unicycle slipped and fell, and his red nose landed right beside Nathan, who picked it up, put it in his pocket, figuring the clown had plenty more. After the show was over, Nathan was walking back home when suddenly he heard a slight chuckle. He turned around and shined his flashlight. He could make out a shadowy figure holding a sharp object in his hand. The figure said in a creepy, sinister voice, I believe you have something of mine. Nathan slowly backed away, pleading, no, I don't. Please leave me alone. The figure stepped into the light. It was the clown from the carnival. He said, well, if you're not going to give me my nose, I'm gonna need yours.
This story's called Help Me. A Macedonian family had been travelling through America. After being out late one night, their little girl curls up in the booth of a restaurant and falls asleep. She later wakes up in the back seat of the car. Still dazed and confused, she sees them pull into a doctor's clinic. While in the doctor's, the girl struggles to understand anything that's being said. The woman turns and says, where's the usual doctor? And calmly, the doctor turns and says, well, I'm filling in today. Angry, the mother says, well, my daughter's sick and I think she's got food poisoning. When he talks to the girl in English, he doesn't get a response. The mother says she only speaks Macedonian, and the doctor turns and says dobro in Macedonian. The girl's eyes light up. He leans down and says, are you okay? Have they hurt you yet? The girl says, no, but that's not my mum. I'm so scared. He looks at the mum who's confused and says, I'll have to examine her. As she lays on the table, he says, I'm a policeman, sweetie. These people have drugged you. They've also taken my daughter and I need you to go with them so I can find her. She hops down from the bed and in total fear, she leaves with the woman.
This is why you should never talk to strangers. In the early 2000s, a young girl was waiting outside her friend's house peeling the bark off of a tree when a strange man approaches her. As he got closer, she could see that he was grinning ear to ear and his face was white as a ghost. He walks right up to her and pinches her on the arm and says, how would you like it if I peeled your skin off? Just then, her friend's mom yells for her to come inside and the man walks away. It would be years before the girl's mother would finally tell her who this man really was. Her friend's mom had seen the man pinch her on the arm and had immediately called the police, who quickly rounded this guy up. Plastered all across the inside of his van were dozens of pictures of this girl. But what they found in his storage locker is straight out of a nightmare. In the locker was a chair with hand and arm restraints. Next to it was an anatomy book and hundreds of torture tools.
Here's why you should never work at a mental asylum. A young woman had just finished nursing school.
Besides the fact that they really don't exist anymore. Just thought. They got rid of asylums years ago for cruelty.
In need of experience, she decided to work at a mental asylum. One night there was a surgery being performed on a dangerous mental patient. But the patient stabbed 2 doctors and managed to escape. Everyone panicked as the patient wreaked havoc on the hospital. She escaped into the woods and the nurse and a few other workers managed to follow her. She disappeared into a nearby cave and this is what happened.
I'm surprised that it doesn't work as well as what it used to. It used to be like you'd watch POVs that make me feel a certain way. Geez, their algorithms have gotten really...
Extremely disturbing interviews with evil people, part 1. Arthur Shawcross was an American serial killer that had a very bizarre story that's commonly used as an example of the flawed justice system in the US. He was first charged with a 5-year sentence after committing robbery and arson, but was released only 22 months in after rescuing a guard from a prison riot. His crimes didn't stop there though, because in 1972 he murdered a 12-year-old girl and a 10-year-old boy, but surprisingly was only given 14 years for his crimes. But he was released early yet again because an inexperienced prison staff said that Arthur was by no means dangerous. He murdered 12 people over 2 years, and in this interview he describes killing his cleaning lady, Dorothy.
She was found with her head removed. That's right. How did that happen? Easy, you just pick it up and move it. Or you just pull the head off. Yeah, it was already gone.
This is the scary story about the pizza.
You watch that interview, and he has no remorse at all. Did I follow you? No, I don't think I have. What's your thing, so that way I can follow you?
There were 2 friends named Jade and Carly who were hanging out one day watching TV. They both then got hungry and decided to order a pizza. They waited for about 20 minutes for the pizza to arrive, and when it finally arrived, Jade answered the door. The pizza delivered.
Leave your jaw hanging. Scary TikTok compilations. Scary shorts. Man, I used to be able to watch like one video, and then you would end up down this rabbit hole and you would end up watching God knows what later.
Just kind of, they're more for intimidation. Any questions? Ew! There's no need to be grossed out. You'll find them in a lot of different crops. And remember, they're no danger to humans. Unlike this little bugger.
Scary cop? Oh, I'm so sorry. No, I'll do it once the video is over, if that's okay. Whoop. Let's just do a scary compilation, because scary comp. Just pick one randomly. 25.
So we're gonna add the eggs to the milk.
What you watching? Come on, guys, you know what has the best free trial ever? With Final Fantasy.
The following person in this video has been experiencing strange activity at home. From a door opening on its own.
There's nothing on this door. Hello?
To the sound of someone or something in his basement. The person recording all these events is sure that there's something in his house. But then one night, he captures this.
More noises. Whoa! Whoa, whoa, whoa!
The fuck was that?
Whoa!
If this isn't enough to make someone move out, then I don't know what will.
No shit, right?
Two friends find an abandoned building and encounter something really creepy.
走。我操，那啥呀？看不清了，看手机里，没啥玩意儿了，还有个黑影。我操！我操！操你！没有啊，没有看错。操！我操！我操！我操！他是不是动了？啊！我操！啊！过去看一眼，走。
Kids' toys are like the scariest.
不行，就慢慢走。我操！没了呢。
Thank you for coming on such short notice, Miss.
DJ Kuna is working on a house that might be haunted. DJ Kuna thinks this, as there have been strange things that have happened while working alone. Luckily, he was able to capture one of these strange occurrences on camera.
Pues siempre pasa cuando estoy aquí solo, estoy solo en esta casa. Completamente solo, siempre que estoy solo, hay algo raro en este pasillo. Yo no lo entiendo, se lo he dicho a muchas personas y no lo entiendo. Cuando yo trabajo en esta área de acá, Siempre que trabajo se escuchan pasos. Entonces, cuando me meto acá,
I hear them.
se escucha que alguien camina arriba.
I hear it.
Y está pasando aquí arribita. Está pasando arribita. Y no hay nada. Güey, qué pedo, güey.
The sound of footsteps can be heard running back and forth. Even beyond the grave, leg day is never missed. Now that's dedication. An urban explorer finds an old schoolhouse filled with toys. But toys aren't the only thing present here. While checking out one of the rooms, this happens. But the scariest encounter has to be this.
Hey? Hey? Hey?
Later on, a camera is left behind as he explores the rest of the place. This is what he captured. Now that's creepy. It's late at night, and the person recording is really scared. There's something in his house, and it's watching him. This is what he caught on camera.
Shit.
A group of paranormal investigators were running a live stream at an abandoned house that is believed to be haunted. During the investigation, a camera is left inside a closet and captures this.
Rude. Just smack. Oh, got slammed.
Tira el celular. Hoy entramos a entrar. Vamos a entrar. Estoy tratando de acomodar esto. Es que está todo madreado, todo.
Just got like slammed.
Here's footage of someone who encountered something really terrifying.
Estoy recagada hasta las patas encima. Estoy
Wow, that's just mean.
Estoy recagada hasta las patas mal.
You're just mean, Jen. So mean.
Ay, la concha de... Ya estoy cansada, ya les juro, chicas. ¿Quién sos? Ahí a la concha de la lora. No me dejan en paz. paz. Ay, no.
I can't think of a better reason to get out than the lights turning off. If the lights go, so do I.
Right. Let's go out. I'm out.
Sing to it.
This is Agent Jones requesting access to restricted file 8752. This is Agent...
A paranormal investigator and a medium visit a place in Mexico known as El Romoral, where a tall dark figure is said to appear at night. Those who've seen this figure report feeling uneasy and entering into a state of panic. Right before entering the site, the medium sensed that something was following them. From there on, things got strange.
Maestro, hay alguien en el árbol. Hay alguien en el árbol, hijo de su madre. Maestro, hay alguien en el árbol. Hay alguien en el árbol, hijo de su madre. Uy.
When it comes to the paranormal, it's probably best to let the experts handle the unknown, especially malicious entities. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. Until next time.
Okay. Well, I think this is where we're going to have to call it a night, because I'm not alone anymore. Oh, darn. But I hope that you guys enjoyed. Like, comment. Oh. Visual experience. Buffering. Okay. Thank you everybody for watching. I hope that you enjoyed. Like, comment, share. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Follow me on all of my social media. All of the links are in the description down below. And, well, as always, sweet nightmares, everybody.